All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about, and you probably have noticed the program that I have up in front of you should look awfully familiar. This is the MemoPad application that we looked at in that we did for homework a couple of weeks ago, but I've added something to it that I want to talk to you about. The thing that we've added to it in this and what you're going to work on today is called the J file chooser. And the file chooser is used to create objects. It's used to create an object that is essentially a dialog box predefined to allow you to choose the file that you want to open or save from the operating system. When we did this program before, we had a dialog box. Or we had a little dialog box where the user just entered. It was an input dialog. In this case, it's actually a file chooser box that lets us pick or provide a file name and location. The file chooser, will create a class. We'll create an object, and I'll show you an example here. We'll start with a save dialog. The file chooser. This line right here is a good example of how to create a file chooser dialog box object. We're going to create one called open file, and this is actually going to retrieve files, not save them. And this will cause the dialog. Well, this won't actually cause the dialog box to appear, but this sets everything up in memory for that dialog box. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to call a method called showOpenDialog, and this will open up the dialog box and allow the user to choose a file location and even a file name that you can use to either A, save the file, or B, open the file. When this method is completed, it's going to return an integer number, and that's going to correspond to a number of constants that are essentially status fields. There are three that we're going to concern ourselves about. First is cancel underscore option. And the cancel underscore option essentially says the user clicked the cancel button. We have approve option, and that means that the user clicked the OK button or the open button. And the error underscore option, and that happens when there's a problem, when the dialog box, when an error occurs where the dialog box closes. Notice that we're using the keyword this. Again, this refers to we want we're the parent component in which owns the dialog box. In this case, since we're building it inside our MemoPad, MemoPad's going to own the dialog box because it's going to be part of the MemoPad application. Finally, once we have, if the user clicks the OK button, we can call the getSelectedFile function, and that's going to produce a file object which contains the path to the file name. And we can use the file object as part of the file reader class as an argument to the file reader class for the buffered reader, or we can also use it. We could also use it in the with the scanner class if we wanted to. There are some additional items that I want to show you on here that are part of exercise 11. And this activity, just using the file chooser, is going to be part of exercise 9. And but something else that's in here that's in this sample application, so I'll show it to you now, that's part of exercise 11 is adding menu icons. So if we take a look up here, you will see that, let me get all the way up to the top. You will see that when we are creating the menu items, in addition to specifying the name, I'm also providing an image icon object that we've created up here. This allows me to attach an image to the file name, and if we or to the menu item, and if we take a look here, you can't see it. I'm not quite sure why it's not showing up. You can see it's indented over a little ways. It may be something with my machine, or the file I may not have the file saved in the right place. But what we have to do if we want images to appear next to the menu item is we create an image icon object. We provide it with the name or location, name and location of the image that we want to use. We can use GIFs or JPEGs, and that'll create essentially an image object. We can then, the menu item constructor will take either just the textual name or the textual name and an icon that will appear inside the application for this. And you know what? I do not have the image icon in the right place. So give me 1 second here and let me grab that and put that in the right place. I will post this image file on Blackboard. And what you're going to want to do is find the location that you are saving your programs that you're working on. Whoops, that's the wrong folder. Let's go in here, go in here, go in here. This is going to be in class. Here is my memo pad. You'll go into the first folder where you see all the files here, and you'll just paste it or save it right in here. And now it should be able, I'll have to rerun it, but it should be able to see it. Let's see here now. Oh, there we go. There's our icon right next to our open menu. And again, you can do this. You'll want to make sure when you're using an image that it's appropriately sized. You don't want it very big, but this is an example. Again, when you are placing files in for use in NetBeans, you're going to want to make sure that anytime that you're referencing a file and you're not providing it a location, you're going to want to make sure, and again, I'm going to wherever I'm storing my NetBeans programs, you're going to want to make sure you place it right just inside the project folder. So to get into the project folder, you'll find a folder by the name of the project, and inside that folder should be a build, an NB project, an SRC, and a test folder. And you're just simply going to paste it right in here with all of them. You can see the file right there. If you put it right there, the application should be able to see it. And again, you can see my example here. Now, I have just shown you what is in exercises 9 and 11. Exercises 9 and 11. Adding an icon to the menu bar and the file chooser, since I had them all in the same program. What I will have you do is simply work on exercises both 9 and 11. I'll put them back to back, and we'll do a walkthrough of one whole program for the memo pad. This is sort of a finished memo pad version, and you can play with it and tweak it and do what you like with it when we are finished. When you are finished with exercises 9 and 11, you can move on to the walkthrough, which will be one walkthrough for both exercises, and then finish up with the last topic we want to talk about, which is another choosing window for something to make life a little easier, and it's called the color chooser. And we'll talk about that as soon as you're finished with exercises 9 and 11.